Introduction. Have you ever wondered if the reality you know is truly real? What if I told you that the way you perceive the world is not just a choice, but a construct of your own mind? The truth is, reality, as we know it, could very well be an illusion. And here's the most surprising part. You have the power to change it right now, to reprogram your mind and manifest the life of your dreams. But how is that possible? The answer lies in what quantum physics and spirituality have in common. Both reveal that reality is malleable and that our consciousness has the power to shape it. This isn't magic. It's science. And it's something you can start applying in your life today. Want to know how? Keep watching and get ready for a quantum leap in your life. Reality is a construct. Reality, as we know it, is not something fixed and immutable. On the contrary, it is a construct of our very own consciousness, filtered through our perceptions and subconscious beliefs. Imagine for a moment that you are looking up at the night sky and seeing the stars shining brightly. But were those stars really? They are not merely points of light, but symbols and reflections of what you believe the universe to be. Each star, each constellation, is a projection of your consciousness, shaped by your experiences and understanding of reality. This concept aligns perfectly with quantum manifestation, which teaches us that reality is not just a sequence of random events, but rather a direct response to what we are consciously aware of perceiving and attracting. Our view of the world is a combination of quantum energy and the beliefs we nurture. If we believe that life is limited and full of obstacles, our perception of reality will be constrained by those beliefs. But if we choose to see the world as a space open to infinite possibilities, our experience will be filled with opportunities. Modern science, especially quantum physics, reveals that subatomic particles do not behave predictably until they are observed. This directly reflects the concept of reality shifting. The simple act of focusing our attention and intention can literally change how reality presents itself to us. It's as though we are in control of a movie screen, and what we see on that screen is a projection of our mind. But the most fascinating part is that by changing how we perceive reality, we can reprogram it to manifest abundance, joy, and a life of energy alignment. For example, imagine a person who wakes up every day believing that they are deserving of prosperity. They begin to notice more opportunities to create wealth and abundance in their life. This doesn't happen by chance. It is a law of attraction in action, like a key opening doors that were previously invisible. Deep down, everything we see around us is a construct of our consciousness. And as we expand our perception, we begin to notice that the universe is conspiring in our favor. Consciousness controls perception. Consciousness is, without a doubt, the force that shapes our perception of reality. From the moment we wake up to the time we fall asleep, our mind is constantly filtering information and deciding what deserves our attention. But what most of us don't realize is that much of it is controlled by our subconscious patterns. The beliefs ingrained in us, often from a young age, shape how we see the world and the possibilities before us. This is especially relevant when we talk about quantum manifestation, because subconscious limiting beliefs can block the abundance and experiences we want to attract into our lives. For instance, think of a person who grew up in an environment of scarcity. From an early age, they were taught to believe that money is hard to come by, and that life is a constant struggle. These thoughts become belief patterns that take root in the subconscious and start to control their choices, their views on work, and even their relationships. They may even try to manifest abundance, but their perception of reality is limited by these beliefs. This is where spiritual awakening comes in. True freedom comes when we awaken to the idea that our perception of reality is not fixed and unchangeable. We can, in fact, expand our consciousness and change the way we see the world. And it is this shift in perception that leads to soul transformation. When we become aware that we are the creators of our reality, we can begin transforming our life from the inside out, aligning our consciousness with what we wish to manifest. The process of consciousness expansion allows us to break free from limiting patterns. Quantum physics, for example, shows us that by focusing our attention intentionally, we alter the way particles behave. At the quantum level, our observation is not passive. It is active, generating changes in reality. This concept applies directly to reality shifting. By altering our perception, we alter our reality. The key to this lies in expanding our mind and realizing that we have the power to control what we see and therefore what we experience. Quantum physics meets spirituality. When quantum physics meets spirituality, it's as if two worlds that once seemed separate finally come together, revealing a profound truth about the nature of reality. Quantum physics, with its complex equations and fascinating experiments, shows us that reality is not solid and fixed as we once believed. Instead, it is fluid and dependent on observation. That is, the way we see the world directly affects what manifests around us. This is where science and spirituality converge. In spirituality, many ancient traditions have already taught that reality is malleable and that our thoughts and intentions have the power to create the world around us. The concept of quantum manifestation aligns perfectly with these teachings. Just as quantum physics shows us that subatomic particles behave differently when observed, our intentions and focuses alter the course of events in our lives. The idea that we can manifest abundance in the reality we desire is not just an esoteric belief, but a practice backed by science. Discoveries in quantum physics, such as the famous double-slit experiment, show us that reality is not fixed until it is observed. This is what mystics and sages throughout history have referred to as reality shifting, the ability to change the course of reality through a shift in consciousness. When we are in a state of energy alignment, like the one promoted in practices such as meditation or visualization, we are actually interacting with the quantum field and shaping the possibilities around us. For example, when we intentionally manifest a change, such as a new job or a new relationship, we are not simply waiting for things to happen. We are, in fact, navigating quantum probabilities to create a new reality. This kind of manifestation is not about luck or coincidence. It's a law of attraction in action, a scientific practice of attracting what we want through energy alignment. Spirituality and quantum physics are interconnected, showing us that we are indeed co-creators of our universe, with the power to change the reality around us. The power of the subconscious. The power of the subconscious is immeasurable. It governs most of our behavior, our reactions, and even our perception of the world. Most of the time, we don't even realize the influence the subconscious has over our lives, but it's there silently driving our autopilot. From an early age, our experiences and beliefs begin accumulating in the back of our minds, shaping how we see ourselves and what is possible for us. This is especially important when we talk about quantum manifestation, because the subconscious can be both a source of limitation and liberation. Imagine someone who dreams of living in abundance, but every time they start working toward that goal, something holds them back. Perhaps they find themselves procrastinating or feeling that they don't deserve what they're trying to achieve. These reactions aren't random. They're the result of subconscious beliefs that were programmed early on. The good news is we can reprogram the subconscious to work in our favor. And this is where energy alignment comes into play. The concept of soul transformation is, in fact, a process of reprogramming the subconscious. When we start to recognize these limiting beliefs, we can begin to change them actively. Techniques like affirmations, meditation, and visualization are powerful tools in this process of reprogramming. Meditation allows you to enter a deeply relaxed state, where you can directly access the subconscious and reprogram limiting beliefs. Affirmations help to create new thought patterns that align with your goals. And visualization lets you experience in your mind the emotions and sensations associated with what you want to manifest, making that desire a tangible reality for the subconscious. When the conscious mind and the subconscious are aligned, you set yourself on a clearer path toward achieving your goals. The power of the subconscious. The power of the subconscious is immeasurable. It governs most of our behavior, our reactions, and even our perception of the world. Most of the time, we don't even realize the influence the subconscious has over our lives, but it's there silently driving our autopilot. From an early age, our experiences and beliefs begin accumulating in the back of our minds, shaping how we see ourselves and what is possible for us. This is especially important when we talk about quantum manifestation, because the subconscious can be both a source of limitation and liberation. Imagine someone who dreams of living in abundance, but every time they start working toward that goal, something holds them back. Perhaps they find themselves procrastinating or feeling that they don't deserve what they're trying to achieve. These reactions aren't random. They are the result of subconscious beliefs that were programmed early on. The good news is we can reprogram the subconscious to work in our favor. And this is where energy alignment comes into play. The concept of soul transformation is, in fact, a process of reprogramming the subconscious. When we start to recognize these limiting beliefs, we can begin to change them actively. Techniques like affirmations, meditation, and visualization are powerful tools in this process of reprogramming. Meditation allows you to enter a deeply relaxed state, where you can directly access the subconscious and reprogram limiting beliefs. Affirmations help to create new thought patterns that align with your goals. And visualization lets you experience in your mind the emotions and sensations associated with what you want to manifest, making that desire a tangible reality for the subconscious. When the conscious mind and the subconscious are aligned, you set yourself on a clearer path toward achieving your goals. When you reprogram your subconscious and begin aligning your energy with what you desire, things begin to flow. This is what energy alignment is all about, the state where your internal energy is in harmony with the vibrations of the universe. This alignment is crucial for the manifestation of anything in your life. If your subconscious is filled with negative or limiting beliefs, your energy will be misaligned, and you'll have difficulty manifesting your desires. But when you transform those beliefs and replace them with a mindset of prosperity and abundance, your energy aligns with what the universe has to offer. It's like tuning an instrument. When everything is in the right key, the music flows smoothly. The quantum leap happens when we are able to make a deep and sudden transformation in our life, driven by a radical change in the subconscious. This quantum leap is not just a wish or a superficial change. It is a profound reprogramming that alters the structure of our reality. When the subconscious and the conscious mind are in perfect harmony, you begin to notice a significant shift in your experiences and opportunities. The quantum leap is about breaking through the limits you've imposed on your potential, and this process begins with a transformation of your own subconscious. This is what truly unlocks abundance and allows you to live a life more aligned with your dreams and deepest desires. Reprogramming the mind. Reprogramming the mind is one of the most powerful practices we can adopt to transform our lives. From a young age, we begin internalizing beliefs that, for the most part, we never question. These beliefs form the foundation of our behavior and worldview. Many of these limiting ideas, however, are subconscious, coming from family or social patterns that we absorbed over time. The good news is that the human mind has incredible plasticity, meaning it can be shaped and transformed, allowing us to rewrite our own story. Spiritual awakening is directly linked to this process of mental reprogramming, because when we become aware of our limiting patterns, we can actively begin to change them. Techniques like meditation, affirmations, and visualizations allow us to access and alter the subconscious, freeing us from the chains that prevent us from reaching our full potential. The key to reprogramming the mind is understanding that our thoughts and beliefs are not immutable facts. They are simply the result of our past experiences, but they don't have to define our future. The process of quantum manifestation takes place when we start altering those limiting beliefs and replacing them with thoughts and attitudes that are more aligned with what we want to create in our reality. For example, if you constantly feel unworthy of success, reprogramming starts by changing that belief to one of worthiness and abundance. This doesn't happen instantly, but by repeating positive affirmations and visualizing the life you want, you begin to form a new neural network that reflects this new perspective. One of the most effective practices for reprogramming the mind is meditation. During meditation, we can access the subconscious in a deeper, more conscious way, allowing us to connect with the beliefs that govern our actions. When we enter a meditative state, we are essentially giving our mind a break to begin deconstructing those old patterns and building new ones. In this state, we can visualize the future we desire, feel the emotions it would bring, and start attracting that future into our reality. Meditation allows our mind to align with energy alignment, creating harmony between what we think, what we feel, and what we manifest. Another essential component of this reprogramming is the use of affirmations. By repeating positive, empowering phrases, such as, "I am worthy of abundance," or "I am the creator of my reality," we are not just saying words, but also triggering an internal process of change. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined, so by affirming something repeatedly, it begins to incorporate these ideas as truths. This process is a form of reality shifting, where we change our perception of our reality by aligning our thoughts and beliefs with our deepest desires. When we begin to believe in our ability to manifest the life we want, our energy and our reality begin to reflect that new belief. Finally, visualizations are also a powerful tool in reprogramming the mind. By visualizing our ideal future, we are creating a clear mental map of what we want to manifest. Visualizations help us feel the emotions associated with success, prosperity, and happiness, and these emotions are the fuel that powers the process of quantum manifestation. They connect us directly to the quantum field, allowing our intentions to materialize more quickly and efficiently. The important thing is to do this with intention and clarity, keeping our focus on what we want to create rather than on what we fear. The illusion of separation. We live in a world where the idea of separation is one of the most predominant. We are taught from a young age that we are disconnected from each other, that we have our own interests, and that each person is an isolated island. This idea of separation between us and others, between humans and the universe, is deeply ingrained in our social, cultural, and even spiritual structures. However, this separation is actually an illusion, a construct of our minds. Quantum physics and the oldest spiritual traditions tell us the same thing. We are all interconnected through a universal consciousness, a perspective supported by both quantum physics and ancient spiritual teachings. When we look at the world through the lens of spiritual awakening, we begin to realize that the separation we feel is not real. This perception is a reflection of our limited consciousness, which sees the world as fragmented. In reality, all forms of life are interconnected through a universal energy field. This understanding of energy alignment allows us to realize that what affects one being affects us all. Our actions, thoughts, and intentions have an impact on our collective reality, and by shifting our state of being, we can influence the vibrations of the universe in a meaningful way. When we begin to perceive the interconnectedness of all things, we begin to live with more harmony, wisdom, and compassion. This is a great teaching of spiritual traditions, which have always spoken of the unity of existence. When we practice the law of attraction, we are not just attracting for ourselves, but for everyone around us. The idea that we are separate from others and the universe creates a block, a barrier that keeps us from manifesting the experiences we truly desire. However, when we begin aligning our energy with the unity of all, manifestation becomes smoother, more natural. The feeling of reality shifting is that the separation between us and other forms of life begins to disappear. By becoming aware of the fact that we are all part of one universal energy, we begin to experience life in a fuller way, in alignment with the flow of the universe. This is the quantum leap many seek on their spiritual journey. When you break through the illusion of separation, you align with your true self, and from there, you begin to perceive and experience the world in a new and more integrated way. You understand that you are not just an individual being, but an integral part of a larger system of existence. This realization of unity radically changes the way you interact with the world, with others, and with yourself. It teaches us that true connection comes from understanding that we are all, in essence, one. Breaking free from the matrix. We live in a world that often seems governed by rules that limit and control us. But what if the reality we know isn't as true as we think? What if we are, in fact, trapped in a matrix, a system of beliefs and conditioning that shapes our behavior and perception, without us even realizing it? This is a great challenge of spiritual awakening. Understanding that much of what we believe to be real is, in fact, a construct imposed by the system. The idea that we are living in a simulation or matrix isn't just a metaphor. As we explore quantum physics and spiritual teachings, we realize that there's much more happening behind the scenes than we ever imagined. When we begin questioning the norms set by society, by the government, and even by our own thoughts and beliefs, we start to see the fallacies that support this matrix. Quantum manifestation is, in this sense, one of the ways to break through these patterns. When we become conscious of the limitations imposed, we can begin to transition into a new reality, one where we have control over our choices and the way we see the world. Reprogramming the mind and the practice of energy alignment are key to this process. They help us realize that we are more than mere pawns in a game. We are creators of our own reality, capable of choosing which energies we want to attract and how we want to live our lives. The war for attention. We live in an age where distraction is one of the biggest battles we face every single day. The modern world is filled with constant stimuli, social media, notifications, advertising, and even our own thoughts. But behind these distractions, something much greater is happening, a silent war for our attention. Every moment we spend consuming information without awareness is a moment where we are giving away our power, our energy. The quantum energy we possess is our life force, and when we allow it to be drained by external sources, we weaken our ability to manifest what we truly desire. Over time, this constant loss of focus creates a disconnect from our true selves and pulls us away from our deepest goals. This war for attention is more than just a matter of productivity or focus. It is a much deeper fight, a battle for our consciousness. By handing over our attention to what is superficial and fleeting, we are unknowingly letting go of what truly matters. The concept of spiritual awakening invites us to wake up to this reality and question where we are directing our energy. When we surrender to the distractions of modern life, we become prisoners of a system that feeds our minds with things that take us further away from our purpose. However, by taking control of our attention, we can reclaim our energy and align our actions with our truest intentions. The key to winning this war for our attention is to be more conscious of what we consume. This doesn't mean abandoning technology or social media, but instead making more intentional choices about where and how we spend our energy. The process of energy alignment requires us to be selective about what we allow to enter our minds and lives. Every time we choose where to focus our attention, we are not only protecting our energy, but also directing our manifestation. Instead of reacting automatically to distractions, we can create space for practices that help us align our consciousness with our goals. This might include meditation, reading, or any other practice that helps us connect with our essence. The law of attraction works similarly. When our attention is focused on things that truly matter, our energy aligns with those intentions and begins attracting the right situations, people, and opportunities into our lives. This doesn't happen by chance. When we keep our attention firmly focused on our goals and dreams, the universe responds by making those intentions manifest. The war for attention is, therefore, also a war for control of our reality. By taking charge of our attention, we are able to control our experience and, ultimately, manifest the abundance and happiness we desire. Every moment of mindful attention is a victory in this battle, a step toward creating the life we truly deserve. Conclusion: now that you have the tools and knowledge to begin reprogramming your mind, it's time to put it all into practice. True change doesn't happen overnight, but with each small step, you'll align more with your true essence and come closer to manifesting the life you desire. Remember, the reality you perceive is just a projection of your consciousness. By expanding your perception and focusing on what truly matters, you begin to attract into your life what is in harmony with your deepest desires. True transformation starts from within, and the journey of spiritual awakening and quantum manifestation is one that only you can walk. Don't let the matrix of distraction and limitations continue to control your life. Take control of your attention and energy. Take the first step today to create the reality you've always dreamed of. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue this journey of transformation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications to get more videos like this. The universe is waiting to conspire in your favor, but first, you need to be aligned with it. Let's create the reality of our dreams together.